Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm very glad that you stopped by. What we're gonna do today is I'm going to start off in my garage. From here on out, I'm gonna be showing my seedlings in the very beginning so that you can see from week to week what I'm doing, how they're growing, when I'm up potting them. And then as always, we're gonna look around the garden and see how everything is going because spring is gonna be here before you know it. So let's get started. All right, well, here's my seedlings that were in the garage last week, and it is really windy out, you guys, so hopefully you can hear me. But I brought them out because the temperatures, as I said last week, it's doing a whole lot better. We are gonna dip down to a couple of nights in the 30s, but I think for the most part, they're gonna be safe staying outside now because those are cool weather crops. But now, to show you the seedlings. I'm really excited about these because you guys look at the tomatoes. I'm so happy. This is just the most prettiest thing ever. Look at how much they've grown. So as I said last week, they need their first true leaves. Most of them do. So I think either this week or next week I will be up potting these because they are very lush. They're growing very tall, and so they need their own home, but that is a lot of tomato seedlings, so I'm going to be in here for quite a while separating. I did get some new trays. I'm going to show you those in a second, but I'm so happy. And if you guys remember 2 weeks ago, remember how skinny and white they were? Look at this. So grow lights, some good water, some good fertilization, and I'm back in business. So I'm really happy. I wanted to show this to you all because even when your seedling may look like it's dying or it's not doing well, just give it some water, give it some light, give it a little bit of fertilizer, and you'll be good to go. I'm gonna start on the top shelf. I just couldn't help myself with the tomatoes. I wanted to show you guys right away. I'm gonna pull this out and I'm gonna show you the top of this. So all of these onions and shallots, and I think there's a couple of leeks in here too. They're mostly shallots and onions though. Oh yeah, there's a couple leeks. They look so good, you guys. So what I did over the week, there was a lot of dead pieces on the top and it was getting really long. So I did give them a little trim, and I'm glad that they did because they look a lot healthier. So those are my onions and leeks. Now I just got to figure out a spot to put all of them. And then you guys look at, these are my snapdragons. These are doing so good. Now these are seeds that I saved from, they looked like pink lemonade snapdragons. If you saw my garden tours last year, they were a gorgeous color, so I saved some seed. And then these are new ones that I purchased. And then back here is some rosemary that's doing very well. And then on the other side, if you guys remember, I planted jicama, which to me, I consider it like a summer root crop. It is an absolutely delicious, easy veggie for me to grow at least. So these are popping up. I did take the two front ones out last week because they didn't pop out yet, and I put them under a dome, and now they're starting to germinate. Now this right here, I had taken a delicata squash from Azure Standard, and there was a ton of seeds. I'm like, you know what, let me try saving some seed from it and just see if it germinates. I think I had put maybe 4 or 5 seeds in here, and 2 of them germinated. So I'm happy to see that, which means the seeds are good. And now that these germinated, because we get vine borers so bad, I'm gonna try to plant this out at the very end of March and see if I can get a squash before the vine borers attack it. Which means if that happens, if I actually get some squashes without vine borers, maybe like around end of March and April is when I should plant squashes. Because during the summer, you guys, I have a hard time because of the vine borers. So I'm happy to see this. And these onions and shallots and leeks up top, I kept the domes on these because there was a few I felt that still needed to germinate. I'm probably gonna take them off maybe later this week so that they can breathe some more, because you can tell they're starting to touch the top here. So I'm probably gonna take it off this week. And then on this shelf, we already saw the tomatoes, but I pulled out one of them. This was the cold, or our cool weather crops, the ones that we planted together. And look at how much it's grown. These are still growing. So this is the loofah. These are the bunching onions. I'm happy to see these. Now the Hamburg rooted parsley has not sprouted yet. So we'll have to wait on that. But everything else is looking really good. And this one also, although some of these are looking a bit leggy right here, I'm not really sure why, but these are all looking very good too. Okay, I took the dome off of the next seed tray. Those are all the Swiss chard. So the ones that look kind of leggy to me are the collards. I'm not really sure, because this is the first time I'm growing them. I'm not really sure if that's supposed to look like that. I mean, typically they're not, you know, you don't want leggy seedlings. But I'll give it a little bit more time. They look healthy, they're just a little bit long. So, but overall, everything's looking really good. Look at all the Swiss chard. Look at the color, it's so pretty. I love Swiss chard. But so far, so good. And then on the next tier is all the basil. If you saw my basil video, I planted basil and a ton of flowers. And you guys, look at all the basil. This one is such a beautiful purple. This is the red Reuben. It's a gorgeous looking basil. It's very prolific over the summertime. So if you've never grown it, I highly would encourage you to try it. But we have a lot of alyssum, calendula in here. What is this one? Oh, nasturtiums. They're so pretty. Look at those. I cannot wait for summer and springtime, you guys. I'm just getting so excited. But as you can see, I'm going to have a lot of work to do in here with uppotting and separating seedlings for sure. These I actually took out from the tray up top there because this is all my dill. It was just getting crazy. I have to separate this. I'm hoping I can separate it today or tomorrow because they're getting crazy over here. So this is all of my dill. And then these were the 4 that I put to the side. So 2 of them, one of them is the tomatoes, if you guys remember from last week. And then the other one is the chives. Well, you guys, the chives are doing, hold on one second. Okay, this is much better. Now, these were the tomatoes that I told you I purchased from the Dollar Tree. I planted those a little bit late. Those are doing amazing, but I'm really happy to see you guys see the chives are growing. I've always had a hard time germinating chives. Now, these seeds were from the Dollar Tree, so I'm very happy to see this. And then, as I shared earlier, I took the Yakima out from that one because these 2 were not germinating. And now they are. They just needed to be covered a little bit more. And so I'm happy to see that. And then the last shelf down here, these are my peppers. Now I moved these away from the tomatoes because I don't know if you can see, but some of the leaves were looked like they were kind of getting burnt. Now I took the domes off because I wanted to show you guys. I'm probably going to put them back on just because I still have little itty bitties that are coming out, but I put it down here because these lights are not as close as the shelf up top. But overall, they're germinating beautifully. I think next year what I'm going to do is not pot them or start them in here. I'm going to show you some trays that I purchased from Bootstrap Farmer, as well as one that I got from GREENSTALK that I'm super excited about. And I think I'm going to germinate them and grow them differently next year. Not that this method is bad. This is not bad at all. But I learned that peppers don't like to compete with each other in the soil, whereas tomatoes are totally different. But either way, I mean, I'm still going to have good pepper plants. But I've noticed that, for instance, these that are still germinating, it's kind of nice to be able to keep these covered, but then the ones that are getting large and bigger to take them out. So I learned something new every year. But either way, I'm really happy to see most of them germinated and they're doing beautifully. And then you guys, if you remember the sweet potatoes, now I had to keep this dome on because I had my peppers exposed, and I don't know, the aphids are liking my sweet potato slips because I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, look at them. They're all over that if you can see them. Oh, I can't stand them. But you guys, if you remember last week, look at how much has grown. Now, I'm very surprised that the white flesh sweet potato is doing way better than these. While you can see they're definitely starting to show some slips, I just find it really interesting because those two I think are the red sweet potatoes, and these three are the orange sweet potatoes, and they're all organic, so it's not like they're not, because non-organic, they spray it, which doesn't allow for things like slips to grow, or for like potato seeds, the buds, for the buds to grow when they're sprayed and they're not organic. But I'm really happy to see this. I think that the heating mat as well as the domes is what helped it. Last thing I want to show you before we go outside are my trays. Now, I get so excited about seed starting trays now. It's quite funny because I wasn't like this years ago. But I'm really excited about these trays because of how much I can plant in these cells and just in the overall tray. So with Bootstrap Farmer, I bought one that is, I want to say this was the 128 cells. This is the 200 cells. You can see how small they are. And then I purchased 5 of these, which I can't remember how many are in here, but these are where you plant them. These are, you don't plant in here, but these you do. I bought 5 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these, and then I'll get back to this in a second. And so here's the 5-pack of the square one. And then I bought one of I think this was a 72 cell tray. And then I bought a 5-pack of a 50 cell tray. And what's nice about these trays with Bootstrap Farmer is they fit in the bottom trays that you water. These are all my Bootstrap Farmer trays, you know, minus all the ones that are with my seeds in there. And I also have these little squares too that you saw with some of my seedlings over there. I love these. But the reason I bought the smaller ones was for a couple of reasons. One, I can plant 1 to 2 seeds per cell because, for instance, these tomato seedlings, I'm more than likely going to keep growing them in here unless I change my mind and I think of something different. But look at all these many seedlings. I have to separate all of those, which is fine. I don't mind it. It is quite relaxing. But when you're growing a bunch, especially between spring and summertime, I may not always have the time. I mean, I'm going to make myself have the time for these, but what I plan to do from here on out, especially with herbs or lettuces or little root crops or even some of the snap peas that I may want to start before I take it out there, because I also do have, sometimes when I plant by seed for these snap peas, something eats it up. So with that being said, I can plant 1 or 2 per cell and then keep the one that's really good. And then that way, all I do is just pull out that, you know, that little one and just plant it. So that was my reasoning behind getting these trays. Plus, look at how much I can grow in one tray, and I won't have to pot or switch them around. I just pluck one out like I said. So that was one of the many reasons why I purchased these trays. And this next one is from GREENSTALK. I'm really excited that they made these because I love how it's designed. They also have a watering tray at the bottom, but you can pull out, you know, this one little tray of seedlings and then take it to your GREENSTALK and just pop it right in there. And because I love to be very organized and I love detail, what I noticed on these trays, let me see if I can find oh, here it is. Let me turn it around so you can see it. What I love about these trays is that they have them lettered. So A, B, I know it's kind of hard because it's dirty. C, and then this is D, E, and F. And then what they do is they have, it came in the mail with this. It has a little chart, and you can label on that chart what is planted in A, B, and C. That way you don't get confused with what is in each cell. I absolutely love that. So I thought that was really genius. Plus, look at it's got a great little handle. You can take it out to the garden. I mean, I just think it's so cute, and I just love the green. I've been really liking green lately, so I can't wait to plant in this. Before we go outside, I want to show you one more thing in the garage. So this is the straw that I use in my garden. I've shared this on previous videos. It's from the company called Healthy Straw, and I've never had issues with the straw, which is why I keep buying it. And it is a wonderful company, which is another reason why I keep buying it. But I went ahead and I stocked up on them, and then I also have some way up there too. That's my little garden stash up there, and there's all my tomato stakes. But I just wanted to show that to you just in case you wanted to get some straw for your garden and we're looking for some. This is a great one. All right, friends, let's take a quick peek down here. I'm gonna try to kind of hurry because it's really windy out here, and I want to make sure you guys are all hearing me. Now, do you remember the broccoli last week, how dramatic it was? They're doing much better. They just needed some water and some good old sunshine. But here's what I wanted to show you. So these have been doing so well over here. I'm finally starting to get a broccoli head. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. But I'm really happy to see this because I was kind of like, when are they going to start popping out? But this one is already starting to grow. And I think another one is starting to form as well, but that one's more developed. So I'm really happy to see that those are growing. And then the broccoli over here is still doing good. Again, they just needed some water. Some of them actually stayed a little wilty, so I'm not really sure what that's about. I know a couple of them broke, maybe from like wind or something, but I'm keeping an eye on these. These overall are doing really good. In the green stalks, broccoli, as I've said before, does very well for me. And the kale is doing amazing as well. I just harvested a few pieces. I love looking at the green stalks in the sunlight. This I can't wait for my mint to come back. I've been missing my mint. Some of it's coming out. I probably should harvest a little bit. This one is my spearmint, and then I have mojito mint, and I have peppermint, and then I put a new mint in one of the tiers right over there. It's a lemon mint, so I'm looking forward to trying that this summer. But let's go ahead and see how the actual backyard garden is doing. I just noticed this and I wanted to share with you all. These are the raspberry leaves, and they're starting to grow on the branches. Isn't that exciting? Oh, I'm so happy. I can't wait for raspberries to come back. I also want to show this too. This is the catnip. These are all of my grow bags of herbs. These are strictly going to be herbs in all of these grow bags and these metal beds. But I'm very impressed with the catnip because not only did it grow back and it's gorgeous looking, but it has withstood the cooler temperatures. So catnip is really impressing me right now. This is also catnip. I think I have a few more catnips. I don't know where they are, but these two, they look gorgeous. So I wanted to share that with you all too. I'm going to start from this end and I'm going to work my way down. I want to show you all of the beds and just the progression that they've had since last week. Now, if you remember, a lot of the broccoli was looking pretty sad and they were looking very dramatic. And now they're all doing very, very well. You can see just some water and some sunshine, that's all they need. Now here's what I did want to share with you. Some of the Swiss chard is growing very beautifully. Some of them I've had to pull out, but this is why I replanted a lot of cool weather crops, because these are pretty much my winter plants. Some of my winter plants are thriving, some of them are not going to thrive, and that's okay, because that's why I planted spring crops. And if you've always heard me say, you want not only just backup plants, but you want backups for your backups, because this last week I've also planted a few of my starts in some of the bags and the buckets because they just didn't make it, and that's why I'm always starting seedlings. And if you remember, I had shared that I had put some peas back here and I replanted, and they're already starting to sprout right there. So I'm happy to see those. Some of them are sprouting throughout the edge, and then old ones that are still doing very well. There was a little bit of frost damage. I don't think, oh yeah, look at, you may not be able to see that one down there, but it's down there. Some of them actually had some frost damage, which is why I'm glad that I replanted a few spots, but so far they're making it just fine. And if you remember last week, this bed, all the broccoli was all wilty and just looked like they were just not gonna make it. They're fine now. They just needed some water and a little bit of sunshine, and so they're all doing very good. And I want to say every one of these spots, I'm kind of forgetting, I believe every corner has either a shallot or an onion. And again, if none of them make it because of the weather, I have a ton of starts in the garage that I can put in here. I'm considering actually putting maybe one on each corner, like a smaller onion, because I did start some onions that are more of a smaller onion. I might do that. I might play around and do 1 and 1 just to see how that does. It might even help with the aphids if I surround it with like a smaller onion. I'm not sure. I just thought of that and I might do that. So we'll have to see if I try that. And then here is this bed. A lot of this was charred. The broccoli and the cabbages are doing really well. You can see some of the Swiss chard grew quite a bit. I'm very impressed with this carrot. These carrots, I mean. This is the Napoli F1 carrots. I planted these in September, you guys. So they've been chilling there for a while, but they're looking gorgeous. And I want to find another spot to plant some carrots. I just haven't figured that out yet. These are doing okay. These are the Scarlet Nantes. I also planted those in September too. So we'll see how that goes. And then look at, I don't know if you can see, but there's little pea shoots coming out already. I'm really happy to see these. They're all popping out. So I cannot wait to have sugar snap peas again. I miss them very much. And for this lovely bed, I'm gonna pluck out, I think 1 or 2 more turnips. And then I've been keeping an eye on this broccoli. This looks like it is just about to flower. Let me see, I can't, it is so bright outside. It's kind of hard to focus a little bit. But I'm gonna harvest this, I can't talk. And these little shoots, I'm gonna just keep that here and let these grow, but I am gonna take this piece off. Now I did decide to keep this piece on because I'm gonna see if maybe in the armpit another shoot will come out. But I love these broccoli leaves. I'm so tempted to harvest. These are really good to eat, you guys, sauteed. You probably could use this as a wrap for something too, but I'm not gonna touch them just because there's a lot of shoots on here. And then I wanted to show you this broccoli. Look at how beautiful this is growing. I'm very, very, very happy with this one. So hopefully I'll be harvesting this in the next couple weeks. Now, there was a few turnips. Okay, this one. This one is the one that I wanted to harvest. So let's grab this one. Oh. Okay. Well, like I said last week, this is my first time growing turnips and I'm really overall happy with them. As I said, I'm not going to be putting them on the sides of the bed like that, but I do like turnips now and I'm happy with what we are harvesting. And then this was the other one that I wanted to harvest because I wanted this broccoli to have as much space to grow as possible. And I felt like this one could be harvested anyways. So, and you can eat turnip leaves, by the way. I looked that up. So I might be trying turnip leaves here. But look at how beautiful that is. I'm happy with it. I know it's tiny, but I'm happy with it. Now, a quick update on the Brussels sprouts. It doesn't look like much, but if you look very close, and it's very hard to get it on camera, I am starting to see some little Brussels head sprouts coming. So I am really hoping I get a good Brussels sprout harvest this year. But the fact that I can see little shoots is a good sign. So we'll just have to keep an eye on these every single week. And this bed as well, everything is growing very beautifully with the Swiss chard. And I also had to put in a few more starts because for whatever reason, see, look at, I just put this early Jersey Wakefield. I definitely have a snail problem because I had put the slow bulb Napa cabbage in here and they were all eaten. So I'm gonna have to look into something for snails because I know it's not the squirrels. The squirrels eat differently too. And so that's what I'm noticing. So I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. Here's one of my romaines. I'm really excited to grow this again. Last year I had some of the most gorgeous romaine heads of lettuce. It was beautiful. Then I put a broccoli. It is the Waltham 29 broccoli on the corner. So I filled in a few more spots and there are a few sweet snap peas that are popping out. They're just too small to show you, but they are popping. Those are the telephone peas and those get very, very tall. This whole trellis on this side was covered last year. Now, I don't show my elderberry tree a whole lot, but I think I'm going to maybe get another elderberry bush because one of my viewers, because I wasn't getting a whole lot of elderberries, one of my viewers said that it needs another one for pollination. So I may get another one because we consume elderberry juice. I make it myself at home and it would be very nice to grow at least some of them. I mean, I'm sure just one plant in a bag or another plant in another bag isn't going to be enough for a whole family every day, but to at least get some would be helpful. And here's this bed. Everything is looking really good. Everything is growing. The kale kind of seems like it's taken a while, but maybe it's because it was really small when I planted it. I'm not really sure, but the broccoli's doing really good. I'm very impressed with the broccoli. Now, with regards to back here, it's pretty much the same as last week. The only thing I would like to show you is what I've added because a few plants died. So I did plant a few broccoli starts over here because some of those didn't survive. And so what I'm doing is I'm going through, like, every day or every other day, I come out here and check on the plants. And if something looks like it's not going to make it because, you know, being in the wintertime and these being exposed, I'm taking a chance whether they're going to make it or not. So I'll just come in here with a new seedling and I'll just plant it in there if it didn't make it, which is why I added these broccoli. Now this cauliflower seems to be doing really well. The only thing is, I can't tell if that's gonna flower or if that's a head, because this is a new variety. I've never grown this before. It kind of looks like it's gonna grow into a head of cauliflower. We'll have to keep an eye on this, but this one looks really pretty. This is the self-blanching cauliflower. I've never grown. This is my first time this year growing it. So I'll have to give you guys updates and we'll have to see how this goes. I also added some broccoli in here and I even added one with a Swiss chard. Some of these Swiss chards look like they may not make it. If they do, fine. If not, I planted some more. And then I did add some broccoli in these buckets as well. And in some of these really larger bags in the middle, unfortunately, the slow bulb Napa cabbage didn't make it. So I put in the Stonehead hybrid cabbage. These starts look very healthy. So I wanted to put in something that looked very healthy because now that we're getting warmer weather, so you can see this is a slow bulb. This one, hopefully this one will make it. I'm not really sure. Now I may add some onions around the perimeter of these. I'm not really sure yet. But look at this one, is doing really good. This one has grown. This is a Stonehead cabbage. So I have a feeling I'm gonna like that cabbage a lot. And I don't share these a lot because these are my garlic and I'm not ready to harvest these yet. But I was checking my garlic and sadly, some of them didn't make it. So these three right here and this one didn't, so I added some broccoli in there. I'm not really sure if it's just because it rained too much or what the case may be, but either way, this is why I plant so much garlic. So all these pallets are garlic, this entire bed is garlic, and then the 4 green stalks in my driveway are garlic. So it's okay, I'm gonna still hopefully get a lot of garlic, but I just went ahead and I added the broccoli so that they weren't empty. So friends, let's go ahead and see what we harvested today. So we got ourselves 2 more turnips. I'm really happy about these. I am gonna plant some more for the spring garden, so I'm looking forward to hopefully harvesting some more. Then we got ourselves a little broccoli. I'm happy with this. I mean, I had to obviously harvest this because it was gonna flower, but we have a few shoots on the side, and then we have another broccoli that is forming a beautiful head, and I cannot wait to harvest that one with you all. And then we got some more kale leaves. Love my kale leaves, and I love when they're small like that. So overall, always happy with the harvest. Well, friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I always look forward to seeing you guys next time. And always remember, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.